Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It is a long season, and we have a lot of confidence in our team and the group we have, and we do need to improve and not make those mistakes and not continue to make those mistakes. There were some things in the game where we have to get better, but I also think, if you watch the game and you really look at it play for play, there was a lot of bright spots. We did a lot of good things, and moving forward, that gives us a lot of confidence.
Trevor fires from the back of the end zone, and that ball is going to be caught for the touchdown by Brian Thomas Jr. What a throw and catch. He tiptoed along the end line. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
We want this to be a really difficult place to play, and obviously it is. It has been in the past at times, but we want it every week to be a tough environment to come into, and to beat us, it's going to be really hard.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Tom McManus, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, happy Friday, everybody. We are turning the page. We're getting a W this weekend. At least we certainly hope so. And the Jags can even things up at 1-1. I'm Mike Dempsey along with Tony Smith. Tony got the memo. Whiteout.
Yep.
We got a whiteout going on in here.
McManus had a blackout.
What are you doing? The black shirt today.
I'm wearing white Sunday. I thought it was for Sunday.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah. We had no memo.
Oh, okay. No, because my daughter last night, she's like, it's a white out there on Sunday. I'm like, it is?
Is
okay.
it? They're wearing teal jerseys.
Oh. I was told it was a white out.
Black helmets, teal jerseys, white pants. No, we're wearing a white out because we just coincidentally both wore white today.
Sunday, it's all white.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I could have sworn.
Okay.
No, it's white jerseys, white pants, white socks.
Okay.
It's just the black helmets.
Yeah, I was told
all right.
white out. So.
Game day fan information. Let me scroll through here.
Unless they changed it. I thought I saw
information. First Duval, patriotism, in-game recognition,
read it over the
reminder. I'm looking for it. If I find it, I will read it.
I believe it's a white out.
Over the air. Well, if you're right, you're right.
And Trevor Bank,
I'm not upset with that.
Trevor Bank for this week, yeah.
Give me a break.
Where the heck?
I mean, gosh.
Uniform combo.
I thought you
black
would love
helmet
that.
with teal jerseys and white pants. This is from the Jaguars this morning.
They
at
9:01. Fans supposed to wear white?
I don't know. I'm just telling you. At 9:01 a.m., I read your emails, Jaguars. Some of us do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently they changed that because their uniform people put it out 2 days ago. That it was all white. They even had the picture. I don't know.
This may be a crossed wires situation.
Maybe.
Right here. I had no idea that there was supposed to be a white out on Sunday. I just wore white. Tony wore white.
I know. That's something strange in the universe is going on.
There really
what I mean?
Well, there's
some
a lot,
kind of connection.
There's a lot strange in the universe going on. As you watched the game last night, I assume you watched Thursday Night Football last night, okay?
Yep. Not all of it, but enough.
Tony made a good point. Buffalo usually handles Miami, but damn, man. Maybe wonder, how good is this Dolphin team? Yeah. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, the Bills don't have this amazing secondary. They shut them down.
Yeah.
It felt like Tua was under a lot of pressure. They only had 2 sacks in the game, but they harassed him. They picked him off 3 times. Yep. I get we had a good defensive performance against them, but the Bills had a dominant defensive performance, and Miami was at home again, and it made me wonder if we overestimated how good the Dolphins were and therefore how good it was to be competitive to the bitter end against them.
I think the difference is that, with the Jags, they when they needed a play or they needed a block or they needed something, offense or defense, it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with the Bills, it didn't happen all the time, but it happened. Yep. They're making plays. They're, 4 minutes to go, game on the line. You can't go 3 and out. I don't care how you went 3 and out. You can't go 3 and out. You got to drive that ball down the field as an offense and put your team in a position to score. And you know what I mean? We'll call it finish. I don't know. When Miami had the ball their last 2 possessions, we couldn't stop them. Mm-hmm. We couldn't stop their run. When all throughout the game, we were handling them pretty darn well. Now, you could, from a macro, right, close game, played pretty well. You could find a lot of positives out of the game, no question. But when you really break it down, at least for me, when I looked at the film again, man, it was, that part was good. But when they needed to make a play, they didn't make a play.
Yeah, and
that's concerning.
They were right on the edge of doing to Miami what Buffalo did last night. Right?
Very much so.
They were a yard away from being in that exact kind of game again last week. They didn't do it. And from the talking about all the things you just talked about, Tommy, as we've talked about all week on the show. I am still surprised that moment could hang over the team as long as it did and that they never really recovered from. I'm just surprised that they, after everything that they went through at the end of last season, after everything they've talked about through this whole offseason, after how the first 3 quarters of that game basically looked, that one moment would happen and that they would never stand back up in the football game. Well, I'm just surprised that it happened to
me, it was 2 moments because the next play they threw the bomb, and there's 7 points. But you're still ahead. You're still in this game. And by the way, that drive and the run prior to the fumble was a great drive and run. I mean, it really was. It might have been. Well, I liked they had 3 really good drives, and that was one of them. It ended in a fumble, unfortunately. But still, you still have the opportunities to win that game. But you couldn't get it done. You know, I did some videos on Facebook, and I just did the last series. I'm like, little things, and this series goes on. It's not 3 and out. Little blocks. I don't know if you saw it, but the first running play, Ingram misses Phillips. Tank's got a cut early, but there's still a hole if Cam just seals Long down, but he lets Long get inside him and make the play. If he just makes that block, it's a massive hole. I don't know how far he gets. Maybe he gets tripped up. Maybe he doesn't. But it's not for no gain. And then the next 2 pass plays, there are chances to get rid of the ball. I don't really like the 3rd down call play, but whatever. My point is there are certain things. Oh, I know on the third down call that when he got blitzed the second time, Ingram's supposed to chip Phillips. He barely puts a hand on him. And by the time Anton can recover, he's already around him.
Right.
So I'm sitting there thinking, well, is he expecting the chip? Because if you're expecting the chip, you're going to stay more inside out, not over the top, right? And then the chip doesn't come. I mean, I'm telling you, I could push Tony harder than Ingram touched Phillips on that play. And then it was a sack. Little things like that is what I'm pointing at. Like, you gotta clean all that kind of stuff up. And pay. You talk about attention to detail. I know it's like old and cliche, but just those 3 plays alone, a little more attention to detail, and it's not 3 and out. And maybe you are driving down the field.
Maybe you are, but, you know, there's NFL games are full of maybes for both sides,
doubt.
right? I mean,
I agree.
You know, and
those are executable plays, though, in my opinion.
But I mean, look, we heard that all through the Gus Bradley era. We've heard it through every era of Jaguar football. If only, hey, we got to execute. We got to make the plays. We're beating ourselves. Enough.
That's not beating yourself. I mean, they make the play. I mean, Long made a nice play on that run, but that's your job
if
to
you're
seal
saying
him
that
off.
if all you got to do is seal this guy, and or Ingram's got to do a better job chipping a guy, that's a lot of that on you.
Yeah.
You know, for not executing at a high level.
Fair.
Anyway,
fair.
we're going to put the Miami game behind us. We're going to focus on the Cleveland Browns today. But watching the game last night, you know, you watch it to its conclusion, and here are the Dolphins driving down 21 in the 4th quarter, and Tua decides after picking up a first down on a 4th down run, I'm just going to dive head first into, of all people, DeMar Hamlin. I mean, the irony of that.
I know.
And so Tua gets his head snapped sideways, then falls to the ground, and the back of his head hits the ground, and immediately goes into what, you know, the fact that we know the term defensing posture means there's way too much of this, and it's primarily from Tua that we know this from, where his arm stiffens up, and you knew immediately that's it, he's done.
Yeah, that's always been a sign.
And now, you know, there's all kinds of speculation. I'm not smart enough to, I'm not a doctor. I've never examined him. You know, I don't know. But there are people speculating about him retiring, never playing again. Other doctors, you know, that blur the lines with football coverage saying maybe 10 to 12 weeks before we see him out there. It certainly, you would think, is going to be a while. And if that's the case, the way Skylar Thompson looked last night, Miami's going to have to do something at the quarterback position. Maybe it's bringing in Ryan Tannehill, but I don't know how good Ryan Tannehill will be cold off the street. If they came to the Jags.
You got to think their phone is ringing.
If it did.
You'd think it would be.
What is the absolute minimum you have to get for Mac Jones if they make that call?
Well, now, this is a supply and demand question. They need him. I mean, Miami needs a Mac Jones or somebody like that they can count on. So, I don't know. 3rd round, maybe?
Not enough for me.
No? Really?
Not even close.
Wow.
Look, Jags have an extra 3rd and 4th next year. Look, I'm not saying you can't use an extra 3rd rounder. For me, that's where I'm looking. Like, hey, you want to save your season? This guy's been a starter, right? you
can hang it over their head like that.
And look, because to me,
and there's at least the potential that this may be it for Tua. We don't know.
Right, this could be
they
your
could
season.
be trading for their future quarterback in that moment.
Or at least for the rest of this year to not waste Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
If that becomes reasonable, agree, because you don't want it to come back to bite you, 10 years from that they're in that position. They're like, yeah, we'll stick it to you now, too,
So, I mean, look, I'm honestly not worried about it. I'm not looking to do Miami any favors. Yeah, sure.
Look, and I don't think Miami's actually going to make that kind of offer.
I don't either.
I think they'll ride Tannehill or whatever else they can bring in. I think that's the direction they'll wind up going. I do think Mac would be the better answer for him, but I don't think they're willing to pay the price that it would take to get Mac. And I'm with Dempsey. It would take something like that. We talked about it before the show. I don't even think I'd listen unless you were at least talking a second round.
I see people out here saying 4th or 5th rounder on social media. What are you talking about, man? What is that? I mean, even another third next year, how much does that move the needle? This team wants to win now. Imagine if the value is if we lose our quarterback for a month, we got a guy we feel can come in and run the offense and maybe win us some games. And, so you take that safety net away, you better pay through the nose. I'm dead serious about this. And you're like, nah, that's crazy. He's not worth that. I don't care what he's worth. Like
I see
what
you're saying. It's just supply and demand. I mean, it is. I mean, hey, man, if you really want to save this season and you really want to deal with that, then you pull the trigger. But
or I do like a second rounder that could become a first, depending on how many games he starts. If he starts 8 games
from Miami, I mean, it's a terrible situation.
Like it's week 2, man.
That's why they didn't want to pay him. I mean, just that the chance that could happen.
That's the number one.
And
reason.
look, you're in the moment. You're trying to make a play, but come on, he's been around.
He spent the entire last offseason learning jiu-jitsu to learn how to fall when he's tackled. Slide.
Just slide. You're protected when you slide.
Just slide. DeMar Hamlin of all people is not going to kill. You know what I mean?
No, right.
And he was a couple of yards past the first down marker. It wasn't like he was diving for the sticks. He was there and.
He's trying to go forward, but just slide, man. That's why they have the rules. But no, I know. But he should have had that thinking that
this guy in particular.
At least, man, I better.
Look, I agree. I don't think that there's any way Miami's giving up a first-round pick for Mac Jones, but it's got to be a conditional that I could get a first-round pick from you. I'm just third round pick to me. I'm like, I got an extra one of those. I'm not saying I wouldn't take another one, but. Then if you
and then what do you do here if you don't have Mac?
That's the point, right? If Trevor got hurt, that 3rd round pick, you're like, oh, great, great. Right. We're gonna draft a guy that
CJ, but
it's gonna be a coin flip to be an impact player the next 3 years.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, that's their issue.
Well, then with Miami too, if you think about it, I mean, the flip side for them, I bring him in. What if he plays? I'm gonna have to. Then pay him, I guess. I just paid Tua.
I don't have to make the decision.
I think that
those guys are billionaires. I'm not,
I mean, Tampa just did it with Baker Mayfield. It worked out, right?
That's
they made that move. They like him. They kept him. That kind of. If you get a guy in and he starts winning the way on that kind of level, then you're like, all right, money. We'll stick with it.
And who knows? Look, you know what they'd love? They'd love for Tua to retire. I bet you any. I mean, now maybe not Mike McDaniel, right? Because he needs him. But all that money that's committed to him, if he voluntarily retires, even for injury reasons, there's a lot of that gets wiped out.
Right.
And so, again, Miami, if they don't get a suitable replacement quickly, they could be on a big-time downward spiral. I mean, already, Buffalo took away that passing game regardless.
Yeah.
But all Skylar Thompson did was dump it to Achane out of the backfield.
Yeah. He's a good back.
And looking at it before the show, Josh Allen's 11-2 against Miami.
Yeah, I mean, he always kills them. They do dominate him.
And they score, in those 13 games, I think I saw they've scored 30 in 9 of them.
But they did it. They did. I mean, Josh Allen threw for $150 or less than 150 yards last night.
Yeah.
It was, and defensive touchdown. Where were you just throwing it up for grabs against us? That whole I'm going to jump backwards, falling down, and just float one out to the sideline and hoping
that his arm isn't strong enough to get that ball to the sideline. Come on, man.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Miami's cross to bear right now. We're here to talk Jaguar football with you on this Friday, including your keys to victory. That's what it is, a Keys to Victory Friday. That's your Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. So hit us up at 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Jump in the YouTube virtual studio chat or on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at Meathead55, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
All right, we'll come back. We'll get the lowdown on high school football matchups for tonight.
Come on.
Out of Tony and Dylan.
Yeah, man.
The low, muddy lowdown that may be coming your way tonight. But we'll do that, and we'll talk Keys to Victory today and look at some interesting names on the Cleveland Browns injury report
no doubt.
yesterday in a big, big way. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. You saw what happened. Jeff Lageman tells you why it happened.
And here's how you know you're right.
Jeff Lageman checks the tape for you. Tuesday on Jaguars Today. Brought to you by Napa Auto Care.
10 to noon on 1010XL.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. Through the Everbank London Getaway, one lucky winner and a guest will receive round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and a pair of tickets to see the Jags play in London. To learn more and for official rules, visit everbank.com/London. No person necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 or older. Entry period for the Everbank London Getaway Suites is from 8/5/24 to 9/5/24. To enter and for official rules, alternate method of entry, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/London. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A.
Tyson Sound and Security is looking to hire a master electrician. Are you or someone you know a master electrician with residential experience? Candidate will start at the industry's most competitive pay. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Tyson Sound and Security, hiring a master electrician with residential experience, offering top-notch industry pay. Call to apply, 762-1000.
Equal opportunity employer.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Grab your lucky spot on the couch, because traditions make Sunday easy to enjoy. Bud Light, easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you're looking for the best in indoor air quality, I've got the experts to call. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jaguars, specializing in the best air quality for your home or work with the Remy Halo. Instead of waiting for pollutants to travel through the ductwork to be neutralized, the Halo cell releases friendly oxidizers every time your fan blows air, helping those in your home that suffer from allergies and other respiratory issues. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and start enjoying cool comfort and clean air.
Everyone's got an opinion, including me. I'm Hayes Carline, and when things get messy, I step in to clean up. Cleaning Up with Hayes is brought to you by Molly Maid, afternoons on The Frangie Show on 1010XL.
We've seen it 1,000 times. Insurance companies using the same tired excuses not to pay. They'll say you're really not hurt, or that your injury is from an old accident. That's why it's so important to hire a law firm who has their own medical experts, who know how to fight excuses with facts. When they bring excuses, we bring the truth. And truth is power. Farah and Farah. Here for you, here for good. Jacksonville.
Where on your body is the weenus? The answer next.
When you call Southern Oak and file a claim, you'll be handled by our hand-picked vendors who will analyze any roof, storm, or water damage. It'll save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The weenus is your elbow skin and can be pinched as hard as you want, and it will never cause pain.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Prosser here, and if you are one of the ones that looks at your backyard area living space and thinks, wow, It needs an upgrade. Lifetime Enclosures is having a huge open house sale this Saturday. And boy, can I tell you, they do an awesome job. Anything from glass or screen enclosures to full-on lanais and flooring, all in one place. The place you want to watch sports, enjoy your backyard, and just hang out could be so much better with Lifetime Enclosures. Come on out to Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring this Saturday, all day. You won't regret it.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers, they take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia. AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mac in the Middle, Tom McManus. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
I am told by young Dylan Denmark that at some point today we should probably give away a pair of tickets to the home opener.
Oh, all right.
So
beautiful.
We'll probably do that.
Nice.
At some point. Stay tuned for your opportunity. We don't plan these things very deeply on Jaguars today.
No. Wing it.
Hey, we got tickets.
Yeah.
Come on by.
I like off-script stuff.
Yeah, and you don't even have to come on by to get them anymore. They're all set to your phone. It's so easy.
It is easy.
Easy peasy.
Yep.
I guess everybody has a smartphone, right?
They apparently need it to get
Some
into the
smarter
stadium.
than others.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think.
suppose. All right. So, yesterday at practice for the Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett, foot issue. After practicing in full on Wednesday, did not practice at all yesterday.
Wow.
Clearly the biggest difference maker they have on that team. I mean, he'll wreck a game.
Wreck the whole thing.
He has a couple of games a year where he's like defensive player of the week caliber, 3 sacks, kind of just crush your dreams.
He can do what Chris Jones did to us a year ago.
He can.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Like today's going to be really interesting.
Absolutely.
How much he's able to participate, what exactly his designation is going to be. Last week, at this time of the week, San Francisco was talking like, of course McCaffrey's playing on Monday night.
Oh, right.
Of course he is. Why wouldn't he play on Monday night? We got him back on the practice field. Of course he's going to play.
Yep.
Now, the indications I saw coming out of Cleveland yesterday were it didn't look like it was anything serious with Myles Garrett, but I don't know.
Yep.
Like, I do think today's report gives you some indication.
Yeah.
Right.
Foot injuries are weird things, man. They really are.
I've had a bunch of them.
Right? You would know. Easy to aggravate,
Yep.
can be really debilitating.
You got all that weight, all that pressure, all that tension, turning the corner as a D end, all that torque.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're
and
they're
Zadarius
easily
Smith
breakable.
mispracticed with a back injury too.
Exactly. The other guy. Just two starting defensive ends for the Cleveland Browns. So
Right.
I'm not saying that either one, we don't know, but we do know this. They both practiced in full on Wednesday and didn't practice at all yesterday.
Okay.
So today's injury report, it's like sometimes you go through and you're like, you got in a limited practice, or you started, maybe you were out on Wednesday, limited on Thursday, limited during the walkthrough, but at least you're trending in the right direction.
Unless they get in a full practice today, and I don't know what exactly that's going to look like, I assume they're going to be listed as at least questionable.
I would think
for
so,
the game.
but if
because
they get
we
in a
don't have
limited
a
practice, I'm going to expect them to play.
Right, because there's no probable designation. Hadn't been one in a while in the National Football League. So if they're able to get in at least a limited practice today, they're going to have to be listed on the injury report as questionable. But I'm with you. If they both get in some sort of practice today, I would expect that they're likely to play on Sunday, but today's a big indication of what that's going to be.
Darnell Savage not practicing for the Jags with a quad injury.
Okay.
And, you get those soft tissue injuries, and I could absolutely see him maybe not playing this week. I don't know how significant it is.
Yeah.
But when you practice in full, and then you don't practice at all the next day, that means you did something in that practice that caused you to miss time. And, you know, Darnell Savage is just a very versatile piece.
He's all over the field.
Right. He's like, that piece you can line up almost anywhere in that secondary and do just about anything.
Yeah.
And we're already down, obviously, a member of the secondary. Now, look, you look at the Browns, you say, well, this might be the team to be playing this week because their passing attack wasn't great. But we've all seen it a million times. Team stinks one week or is fantastic one week and the complete opposite the next time out.
No, absolutely. You're supposed to, really improve week 1 to week 2. You'd think Deshaun Watson would be better, but, under pressure, would Dallas have 6 sacks on him? He threw 2 or 3 picks, so hopefully we can get that going against him and make his life miserable because he deserves it.
The big thing for him is that he had both of his starting tackles practicing yesterday on a limited basis. Like Jedrick Wills did not practice on Wednesday and returned. He was the one who was further away from playing last week. Jack Conklin, I talked to some folks in Cleveland who said they were surprised on game day that he was unable to go.
Okay.
And he's been limited, but I would expect he'll be able to play this week based on what I've heard. And, he can flip over to left tackle if Wills doesn't play. But so they're pretty beat up at some key spots right now, regardless. Jags got to take advantage of this situation where Deshaun Watson comes in, kind of, as Jeff Logman put it, Tommy, dropping his eyes because he couldn't trust the protection and got sacked 6 times in week 1.
No, that'll do it to you. When you get hit too much, you start looking at the people that are hitting you, see if you can avoid them, before you're looking down the field. So, again, And look, their running game, I know Ford didn't do much against Dallas. We should be able to control that pretty decently.
He didn't do a ton versus the Jags last year. He was okay versus the Jags. It was really Njoku who killed him. They didn't cover him.
Right. And they missed assignments on both of those touchdowns, or at least I think, at least on one of them.
But still, he was well on his way to being Cleveland's leading receiver last week before he got hurt. So he's already been ruled out.
Yeah. Look, they've got big playability in Judy and Cooper.
Cooper,
give him time, he can throw it.
Yeah.
Big play meaning like they catch the ball and advance it, get first downs and things like that. Consistently.
Cooper's a really good player.
Yeah, he is a good player.
He's
absolutely. You don't want to sleep on him.
Upper echelon wide receiver in the league.
Absolutely.
So he can beat you in a given week. And Judy is an enigma.
Yeah.
Basically since he got in the league, he's certainly got the speed to make something happen at some point in the game. He's just never been able to find any kind of consistency to his game. It's hard to imagine that with everything we're seeing, we just went through the whole injury report for the Cleveland Browns on top of what issues they had last week with where Deshaun is and his game right now, that this would be the week where Judy makes a big impact for him, but he's a player capable of making a big impact.
Yeah, this is, look, with all that they've got going on, now the new allegations, against Deshaun Watson and his off-the-field antics, you can't let this team hang around, And one thing we got to learn, look, I know it was the fumble. It was the bomb, to Tyreek, those 2 plays, that really changed some things. But you got to finish. You get up on a team, man. You got to step on their neck and drive them into the ground and try to keep scoring. And I know you were. And the fumbles happen. Look, look, Holland made the perfect punch. If there was a perfect punch you've ever seen in your life, it was him right on the ball. It wasn't like, ETN had it, flopping like a loaf of bread out there. He had it nice and tight. Just a great play. It was unfortunate. Things happen. I thought he bounced back fine from it. I know he sulked a little bit on the bench, but I don't care. He's pissed off. He's sad. He's like, gosh, dang, I can't believe I fumbled that ball. We would have put him away. This is a chance for us to really go up on him. I thought he bounced back fine, but you got to finish, and it's, again, back to that detail, man. Attention to detail, and you can shore some things up.
Well, somebody tweeted last night and included me in it about, this is an example of Buffalo putting their foot on the accelerator. They're up on Miami. But you look at that game, okay, so it's 24-10 at the half. Here it was, for us, it was 17-7. Pretty similar. And the Jags did respond. It's like, Miami scored and the Jags went down and kicked the field goal.
Right.
So I didn't feel like their foot was off the accelerator in the first half. And, we all could talk about the play calling. I don't want to relitigate it. We talked about it all week long. But, Buffalo scored once in the third quarter, and then basically the game was over.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of, we're not necessarily running out the clock, but we're not trying to do anything extraordinary at that point either. You know, they had him at arm's length, and okay, that's you kind of had the sense for the game, and that's going to be good enough. And they kind of put it into cruise control and coasted in with a W.
Yep.
You know, so I get what you're saying. You don't want to go into a posture where you're just trying to run clock in the middle of the third quarter, right?
Yep.
When it's a 1 or 2
We're
score
not built
game.
to do it anyway. I mean, we don't have a power running attack.
Right. You'd like to be, but, you know, at times Tank Bigsby
He
gave us
looked
a little
really
bit
good.
of that element.
Oh, yeah,
of
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do this. Let's take a break. Let's come back, and I want to get into with you how much you think Tank Bigsby should be a part of the week-to-week offense. You know, was this a circumstance? Because he only played about a third of the snaps, but he ended up getting as many carries as Travis Etienne in this game. So we'll delve into that a little bit. If you want to get in, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. The Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day is asking you for your 3 keys to victory for the Jags when they take on Cleveland this week. Doom sent me a retweet of what the Jags put out the other day, and it does. You know, the tweet they sent out does say whiteout on it, and it from 2 days ago, and it has
white everything.
Christian Kirk with white jersey, white pants, but I don't know what to tell you. The PR email this morning said they're wearing teal, so.
Maybe someone from the organization can text in or call in and say, it's an all white out, fellas. All white.
Right. Hey, we're
I don't
white.
have white pants, so what am I going to do?
I don't know about wearing white pants anyway, you know. I think it's more,
I don't have a pair of white pants, is what I'm
the
saying.
shirt.
Yeah.
You know.
Just a white shirt.
Yeah, wear jeans or shorts. That's all they're looking for, you know.
Fair enough.
Just wear the white
Just
shirt
the top.
with the Jaguar logo.
Yeah. You didn't ask me, by the way, a question that you normally ask me. It's been almost an hour if I've done my homework. And no, Tony did not text me last night.
You know what? I haven't done mine.
You didn't. Is that right? Look at that. And I'm not totally done. I'm not totally done.
Now I need to.
I was waiting for you to say, like, hey, did you do your homework?
Instead of scrambling, Tony did win the week. I think I left the numbers at home. Tony had the most. I think that, isn't that right? Did you add them up yourself?
I didn't add anything up.
I didn't add mine.
I want to
up.
say
what was your record? 13-2?
Might have been you though.
I had 12-3.
Right, but you missed a couple of high picks.
Jags.
Right, the Jags and Cincinnati both.
Trevor Bank.
I think Tony came in first. You came in. You guys came in first and second last week in the picks. So
it's all good. It's a long year.
A friendly reminder that I need to do my homework.
Yeah, I got to rank mine. So in all transparency, I just picked my winners. I haven't ranked them yet.
All right, I'm
good time.
Gonna head to the printer and get some paper. On the break coming up. All right, we'll take your calls if you're so inclined when we get back, and we'll talk about the Jags' offensive game plan versus the Cleveland Browns with Tom McManus. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Awaken 180 Weight Loss, right? You want to have a plan in life to know where you're going and have a plan how to get there. Awaken 180 can fill in the steps along the way if your plan is to lose weight and eventually be able to keep that weight off. That's the thing. A lot of people I know who've been overweight in their adult life lose the pounds and find them again. I did it. Yo-yo dieting, up and down, up and down. Awaken 180 promises once you hit your goal weight with their free support and coaching for life that you're going to be able to maintain that weight loss. I've been able to do it. So has Hacker. So has Matt Hayes. So has everyone I personally know that has tried Awaken 180. They have it over a 98% satisfaction rating from over 21,000 customers. Eat to lose weight. It's not some crazy diet or medical routine that you've got to go through. It's just you're learning what to eat, when to eat, how to eat, and the pounds will drop right off you. It worked for me. It can work for you. Call 844-346-1800 or schedule a free consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today. For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle with lifetime warranty, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Best price, best payment, best trade-in value, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. With a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there is always a little room for wiggle.
Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the 4th annual Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 4th through 6th at Timuquana Country Club. Get your tickets now, starting at just $25 for grounds passes. And if you're a country music fan, grab your tickets to see Brothers Osborne at Daly's Place Tuesday, October 1st for the Furyk Foundation concert sponsored by Ring Power. Learn everything you need to know at ConstellationFurykandFriends.com.
Prosser here. Hey, pick a news source. But the reports are home prices are expected to decline in 2025, even after the election. So you need to maximize your home sales price now before this downturn, and you can do it with the agents proven to sell for top dollar, Chad and Sandy Newman. Hey, perhaps you're worried about selling for less money with a lowball out-of-state instant offer, or maybe you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how. That's why you turn to Chad and Sandy, who have the answers. No required costly repairs. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts I trust and recommend for the sale of your home. Tony and Maggie at Jack's Golf and Country Club said, "We recently had a job transfer and we needed to sell fast. With homes in our area struggling to sell inside 100 days, we didn't know what to do. Our worries were solved when we hired Chad and Sandy. Our home sold in 3 days for one of the highest prices ever in our neighborhood at over $1 million. Call the local experts we trust, 904-414-6200 or ChadAndDSandy.com.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
This is Keith Scott with Veterans Wholesale Cabinets. We are Northeast Florida's cabinet experts and your best option to elevate your home improvement project for both homeowners and contractors, and attention to detail to every project. VeteransWholesaleCabinets.com.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
All right, here we go.
Former Jaguars QB David Garrard joins Jaguars Today to talk Jags.
All right, guys.
Mondays on 1010XL.
Let's go, Googans. Let's go, Googans.
Brought to you by WaterboyJacks.com.
What is that?
Make your dream of living in luxury a reality in Lennar's newest 55 and up active adult community, Edenbrook at Highland Trail. Located in the heart of Green Cove Springs, Edenbrook offers world-class amenities with a dedicated activities director and homes starting in the high 300s, with rates as low as 3.99% and up to $50,000 in flex cash on our new Edenbrook homes. The time to buy is now. Call 904-643-3750 to find out more. Your life of luxury awaits in Edenbrook at Highland Trail by Lennar.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
DuckDuck is currently hiring in all departments. We want great plumbers, CDL drivers, drain field installers, and lift station technicians. If you have experience in your trade and love to deliver a super high-quality level of customer service, you have found the right company. You will enjoy our benefits package that includes excellent weekly pay, paid holidays, health insurance, and working for the best in the industry. Apply at DuckDuckRooter.com. That's DuckDuckRooter.com. And click on the careers page. DuckDuck Rooter is an equal opportunity employer.
There's certain places you know if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Cold Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bold City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate, full of choices and all of them good.
Pickett here with my concierge doctor, Richard Townsend. Doc T, how does a concierge direct primary care operate?
We are a membership-based primary care made directly between the patient and physician. We'll have a limited amount of patients that allows us to give unlimited access and personal service to you. This individualized approach has been shown to lower hospitalizations as well as maintain healthier lives. We also give 24/7 access via phone to me outside of our scheduled office hours.
To learn more, go to mypvconcierge.com.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. For the athletes who give everything, nothing beats Gatorade. The studied, tested, and proven fuel of the world's greatest athletes. Gatorade Water, proudly supporting high school sports on the First Coast.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Browns All-Pro defensive end Myles Garrett did not practice on Thursday due to a foot injury. Garrett is a critical matchup for the Jaguars on Sunday. If he does play, Jaguars offensive coordinator Press Taylor will be ready.
There are certain guys in this league that we would just classify as game wreckers, and he is certainly one of those. You pay special attention to that guy, whether it's we're going to provide help in the pass game, we're going to run away from him, we're going to do this, we're going to run at him with certain schemes. We will do everything in our power to be very aware of where 95 is at all times. I think special players require special focus, and he's definitely one of those guys.
Press Taylor on Thursday. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Tom McManus. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
All right, we got visitors in studio from North Carolina stopping by. Like, you're just a bunch of voices to us. Hey, we got a YouTube channel. Go look at us. Okay. And after meeting us, probably thought, should have stuck to voices.
3 faces for radio.
Yes. Yeah, you're all right, McManus. You do a little television. You can pass. Maybe
Whatever.
Tony.
I just fake it.
Whatever the case. All right, we'll get to some of your thoughts on the Jags' offensive approach this week, but let's get a few of these calls coming in as we've got the Keys to Victory Friday, so let's see what's on the mind of the folks out there. Let's start with Regina in Mandarin, a good friend of the program. Regina, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Duval! My 3 keys to victory, not in specifics, but general terms. The offense has to dominate time of possession. Number 2, no key turnovers. And number 3, watch the penalties. No the situational awareness. However, no dumb penalties. And I'll take your comments off the air. Go Jags!
Go Jags! All right, Regina. I don't know. Like, I'd always want to dominate time of possession, but I don't think it's necessary. Like, as long as you're scoring, right? Effectively. If the other team possesses the ball a little bit more, kind of has a ground and pound approach, and the clock runs a little bit more, I'm not, it's not that big a deal. It's what you're doing with the ball when you've got it. But, obviously, no key turnovers, no big penalties. Don't give this Cleveland offense any reason to wake up. They were down 27-3 in the third quarter before they put their first touchdown of the season up last week.
Doug Peterson, by the way, speaking to the media now, so we're getting our final injury update of the week for the Jags. He said Darnell Savage probably not going on Sunday. Quad injury happened in practice. Cam Robinson, he said, will play. This week, but it looks like Savage probably not going to be able to go.
I mean, when you get those midweek downgrades,
I hope Cleveland gets cursed with the same.
I absolutely do as well.
So Tyson's out.
Right.
Savage is out.
Yeah.
Jerry and Jones going to play.
And Terrell Edmonds got signed off the practice squad, so he's not an option.
And Flowers got signed too, I saw.
Flowers got signed to the active roster yesterday. Okay. So, and he's played in Nielsen's system, obviously.
Right. So who's is Jerry going to be the corner? Who's the nickel then? Who would you think?
I would think probably, yeah. I mean, he's going to play a bunch regardless. Yeah. I mean, I could see Trey Flowers.
Buster can play.
Yeah, Buster, Monteric Brown probably start.
I like Buster. I think he's a good corner.
Or if they want to put Antonio in there a little bit.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fortunately, this is not, at least through 1 week, doesn't look like it's going to be a high-powered attack. But again, they still have guys. You got to pay attention to Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy to some degree. But I do think not having Njoku is a big blow. If you turn Jordan Akins into a thing this week, then you've got bigger issues.
Yeah, he had 3 catches, though.
He did, but he's not like Njoku can run.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean?
He's very athletic.
He can get deep.
Tough matchup.
And Akins is more of a kind of a catch-it, tackled guy.
Yeah, you just can't give him time. I mean, look, with the bomb to Tyreek, Tua had all day long to throw the dang thing. That was a long time to open up that play.
Didn't have that last night.
Can't have it, man. Can't have that. You got to make sure you keep the pressure, especially on Deshaun. Because he's rust, whatever. Just maybe lost a little bit of his mojo. I don't care.
It's hard not to have rust.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he played last year, but he ended up playing 12 games in a 3-year period.
Oh, right. So, you got to put a lot of pressure on him. Make him make quick decisions and not have a lot of time to think about things.
All right, to the west side, Kenny, you're next up here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Kenny.
Good morning, fellas. Duval.
Kenny, what's going on?
Well, I just have a combo question. We've been talking about the aggressive play calling, being aggressive in play calling, and I just want to ask, why does it seem to be a difference in college and the pros, where in the college – they just do what they do, and it's up to the other team to stop them. So you see a spread of 69 to 17 or something like that. But in the NFL, once they get up 2 possessions, they kind of try to coast if they can the rest of the way. And a question for Tom, as a player, does that kind of seep into the players where they're just trying to coast now? And especially on defense, I would figure I still don't want them to score. I still don't want them to be to have success. So I'm just curious what goes into that mindset and why there's a difference in the college game and the NFL game. And I will hang up and listen off air.
All right, Kenny, thank you.
Yeah, I'd say for the college game, points matter. How much you beat a team matters in college when they rank you. That doesn't matter in the NFL.
Yeah. And also, I think
you'll get matchups that are so lopsided sometimes too, where it's like, we can beat this team by 40. We'll beat them by 40.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Like so many schools prioritize putting their best athletes on offense now because it's an offensive game, right? And so a lot of times that's what it feels like. Everyone's got their foot on the accelerator. A lot of times those offensive players are just better than the defenses that they're throwing out
the
there.
NFL, in a given week, if you have more than one game that has over a 7-point line, it's like, whoa. Yeah. They think they're going to kill that team. Like, that's the way that looks when you're getting ready for a game. It just doesn't happen all that often. Like, all the lines are basically between 2.5 and 4.
Yeah.
That's where NFL lines live. Right. They expect it all to be a one-score game. So when you get a multiple-score lead, it's like, we need to end the game.
Yeah. As far as the second part of the question, the aggressiveness, I mean, I thought Ryan was fine on defense throughout. I just think the last 2 series, they're making plays and we're not. Just getting off blocks, tackling, all that kind of stuff. We just couldn't stop them. And now, granted, they scored field goals, but that's all they needed to tie and then win the game. So I didn't feel like that aggressiveness. I do feel like the other side lost a little bit of it, but I still think it's more that attention to detail, just doing your job to the fullest extent on every play, and better things will happen.
And I think some of it's perception as well. Like somebody, again, I mentioned on social media, people are hitting me up saying, hey, this is how you stay on top of Miami. Buffalo threw it less than the Jags threw it. They threw it 19 times last night. Yeah, right. Josh Allen threw for 139 yards. Right? They got the defensive score. Yep. So that's not a matter of keeping your foot on the accelerator. That just it's a Tua threw one up for grabs and picked it off. And that was the difference between the amount of points that Buffalo and Jacksonville scored against Miami in the first half was that floater that he just left out there. So, it really, I think, sometimes is a matter of perception. And in the NFL, it's a long-ass season, man. Sometimes you just got it. You do want to park that thing in the garage and just take it home.
All right, so like the play calling. I didn't really have a huge problem with the play calling, but everyone's all on the play calling.
I got a problem that Brian Thomas didn't get a single look in the second half.
In the second half, but is that play calling or is that Trevor not looking at him and not going to him? I don't know.
I just feel like the impact that he had on the game in the first half, you've got to find a way to dial up at least one shot in the second half. That for me, that one stood out. And
like even on an end around or so get the ball in his hands somehow.
Or match protect and just go deep and maybe we'll draw another flag, right? Or maybe you'll make the play. There are instances you can pick it apart. And
I didn't like the fourth down call. I didn't like going for it, and I didn't like the call.
Hated the play. Hated it more than I hated the decision to go for it, quite frankly. Didn't like the third down call either.
No, right.
And again, going backwards here.
No, I know.
But
it sucks I'm on Friday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Got to wait all week.
That's the way it goes.
It's okay.
Let's go to Mac on the north side. Mac, good morning.
Hey, fellas. I was in Hard Rock Sunday, and I watched the Buffalo Bills last night, and I'm going to call out my team on local radio. All I'm just say, and I'm gonna hang up and just get you guys take the Bills are contenders, and my favorite Jacksonville Jaguars are pretenders. So that's how I feel right now, and I will be there. I will be there Sunday at the bank. Trevor Bank. Go Jags.
All right, thank you, Mac. Look, I can't change how you feel about it. You know, the Bills looked really good last night. They also were losing big to Arizona at one point last week, right? Yeah. And the Tony pointed out they handled the Dolphins last year before the Jags beat them, in London. So
the way they beat the Dolphins before they went to London and played the Jags, the Bills were being talked about as obviously this is the best team in football.
Yeah.
Right? Because they had come off back-to-back weeks where they did to 3 opponents what they just did to Miami.
Happens all the time, right? Yeah. It doesn't work that A beats B, B beats C, so A must beat C.
No, right.
It doesn't always work that way. It happens all. You're like, how did they do that? And it comes down to matchups and all kinds of different things.
Listen, it's too early to say if our team's a contender. I still think they are, or a pretender. First game, like you said, look at Arizona, Buffalo. I mean, Arizona, had them.
They jumped them.
You know what I mean?
Early,
right? So you're like, how do you look at that? You're like, well, Arizona's, there's no way they're better than Buffalo, but how do they get the jump on them? That kind of stuff. Well, because, like what Tony was just saying, the athleticism and playmaking ability is really close, so that can happen. So I don't know. I tell you what, I mean, look, I'm expecting them to win, but They got to show it, man. They got to show more than they showed last week, in my opinion.
All right, let's get Byron in Gainesville before we hit the break here next on Jaguars Today. Byron, good morning.
Hey, guys. Thank you for taking my call. Happy Friday.
Yes.
What's up, Byron?
Guys, real quick, I just want to holler out to Regina. I love her, her enthusiasm. And Mike, too, man. How could you hate a name, Tommy? Me, I'm a Mike, so in a sense. But I love his calls, too. And all of them. And I'm definitely a holiday fan. So, guys, I'm getting ready to go out in my secret channeling spot and channel up the saber-toothed tiger, the formula that he said, me and Holiday working on this. And we're going to do it this Sunday, man. So we're going to get ready to do some fried or some kind of bird, turkey, Cornish hen. And I can't be there for church reasons, but I'll be there in spirit after church. So, Duval, thank you, Miss Regina. Go Jags!
Go Jags. Thank you, Byron.
Right.
Byron's just fired up in general, as he typically
Call
is.
for the calls.
Absolutely.
That was beautiful.
All right, we'll come back with more of your calls. Hour 1 in the books. We'll get Tommy's perspective on the game plan, what the Jags can do, maybe to slow down that Cleveland pass rush this week. You can get on board at 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines as we head into hour 2. Tom, did you do your homework? You got your picks all prioritized?
I don't have them prioritized
Mine
yet.
are done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, mine have been done for at least
Crammer.
5 minutes. For at least the last
Is that how you got
5
through
minutes.
college?
That's how I get through life, bro. So, welcome to my life. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Saturdays in the South are made for football. Yes, but you can get the game day feeling on Friday night on the Bueller Air and Plumbing College Kickoff.
The big games, the big matchups.
Friday night at 6. Brought to you by Sonny's Barbecue on 1010XL.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems, gun charges, drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about putting your worries in the right bucket. So often we put our worries in our own bucket, but many times they need to be in God's bucket. The Bible says, present your problems always to God. In other words, leave them in God's bucket. Understand that no matter what is out of your control, it's never out of the control of Almighty God.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Right now, they're on their way to ruin your day. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. And if you're not prepared, you will suffer. Yes, it's that time of the year. Heat and humidity are attacking North Florida. But help is at hand. Call Mike Merritt's Heating and Air Conditioning. Mike Merritt has a license to chill and lets you maintain your comfort zone at a bargain price. How? Mike Merritt stands ready to help, routine or emergencies. And Mike Merritt knows emergencies can happen at any time. So with Mike, there's never any overtime charges. And Mike's team works without commissions. Merritt will never try to sell you parts you don't need. You can't trust just anyone with a truck. Call Mike Merritt, the company North Florida has trusted for 35 years. Call today. License number CAC 050384.
Zebra. Zebra is back by overwhelming demand. Saturday night, September 14th, live at the Florida Theater in Jacksonville, performing songs from all 5 Zebra albums. Zebra. Get tickets now before they're gone at floridatheater.com. Zebra with all original members, Saturday night, September 14th. Tickets on sale now. Don't miss Zebra.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If you're searching for a new fence installation, challenge yourself to find a fence company with more positive online reviews than Superior Fence and Rail. With over 3,000 reviews and a 4.9 out of 5 review range, Superior Fence and Rail is, well, superior. So take the online challenge or let their professional team show you what superior service looks like. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com. You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Don't bet the National Football League this season without your VSiN NFL betting guide. Betting previews for all 32 teams, betting trends, VSiN's exclusive in-depth win total projections, and a guide on how to use betting splits to bet and win. Download your free copy of the guide right now, featuring a betting preview of your Jacksonville Jaguars. 1010XL.com. That's 1010XL.com.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by First Coast Honda Dealers. Florida head coach Billy Napier wants his team to recognize the level of competition Texas A&M presents.
We know the level of competition, the caliber of talent, height, length, and speed of the players. I do think that we have practice for better fundamentals.
Week 4 of high school football will see undefeated Mandarin and Bradford clash in Stark. Bowles will take on undefeated Bishop Kenny this evening. At 7, you can hear the game live on 1010 XLAM. Jacksonville University will play a part in Florida-Georgia week by playing the University of Florida in an exhibition baseball game on November 1st at 1-1 Financial Ballpark. The day before, the Gators will face the Bulldogs in football at Everbank Stadium. The two teams have played on the eve of the football game 4 times since 2019. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10:56, it's 83 degrees. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Tom McManus.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Getting older, I'm forgetting everything. Said earlier we come back and tell you what the high school situation looked like for the fellas tonight.
As easy as 1, 2, 3.
Tony, we switched venues tonight for bowls, right?
Yes,
ADD,
they did. We got the
baby.
word this morning, basically, when I was coming in the station, that it was originally bowls at Bishop Kenny. Ooh. I was curious about how that field was going to deal with 2 weeks basically straight of rain, and who knows when it's going to stop today over at Bishop Kenny because they're right on the river. Right where the stadium is. So I didn't know exactly what that was going to look like for them. Yep. We got the word today. The game's going to bowl. 7:30 kick tonight. We'll be here with you on 1010XL.
All right, what about the Baldwin tribe there, young Dylan?
We have Union County. We got the wing T offense. So how McManus, what does McManus usually say? You got to punch them in the face and step on their neck.
Yeah, that's a running off.
Is that going to happen today?
That's what we kind of have to do that kind of thing tonight. So we'll see.
Okay, let's see if there's punching of faces and stepping of necks.
Got to be disciplined against the wing T.
Tommy, what's the approach offensively against the Cleveland Browns if you were the Jacksonville Jaguars this week?
Harass Watson. And
offensively. Jaguars' offensive approach. Harass Watson.
I want to harass
him. Run over to the sideline.
And talk to him. Get into his head, man. Get into that guy's head.
Okay, that'll be a great
While
for
you're
the
running
defense.
your route, if you're Brian Thomas Jr., just a little word over the shoulder to Deshaun.
I tell you, it's funny. Like, I thought the game plan last week, aside from what you said about Brian Ty, I thought it was okay. And I know, like, we always, we question things when they don't work. That's rightfully so. I get it. I think, though, if you really went back and looked, a little bit better execution, and it's better. We have more yards. We're better on third down. Our quarterback stats, whether we care about that, look better. Kirk's looks better, I thought Tank really hit the, hole well. I want to see more of that. I still think ETN's our guy, but you got to use Tank. You got to see Tank, when you're really committed to that run. Because one thing we are missing is that 4-minute run game. You're up. It's got 4 minutes left. You're trying to move forward.
Run 3 times, get a first down, burn another set of downs.
Or at least 2 times. Just you can run enough to where. Yeah. But maybe he can turn into that kind of weapon. He does run hard. I got to give the kid a lot of credit. I want an attacking fashion, right? I want to put pressure on these guys because, like I said earlier, they weren't horrendous against Dallas. Dallas offensively didn't do a ton against them. I think they had a punt return for a touch or a block kick or something like that. So their defense is still very strong. But with everything going on off the field too, you got to put the dagger in them early, like you did against Miami. You had a nice lead right there, man. You thought you'd keep it going. You tried, I know. But I want to see a good mix. I do want to see Brian Thomas Jr. Let's see him. I know their corners are pretty good, right? Denzel Ward's pretty
He's
darn
outstanding.
One of the best corners in the game, so that'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting to see.
Where was Ingram last week? I know they went to him a few times.
Yeah,
but it seemed like he'd be more of a focal point.
Well, let's talk about that with today's 10-10 take.
10-10 Take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 Take, brought to you by
Double-checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
Look, they've got that big body Dalvin Tomlinson in the middle of that defensive line, too. He can make things. As much as we focus on the edge rushing guys, I do think you want to have some success running the ball early so you can slow that edge rush down a little bit, run right at them, and then the Jags want to run play action off that. But I've got to see them scheme up some opportunities. Like you just mentioned, Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram killed this Cleveland Browns team last year. And that was, look, you could say, well, we didn't have Kirk. We didn't have Zay Jones. They had to go to Evan Ingram. Okay, but the Browns knew that, right? And he still had a big game, couple of touchdowns in that game. And I'm with you. I'm really interested to see how they deploy Denzel Ward. Do they give Brian Thomas that respect right now? Like, this is the most dangerous guy? Because quite frankly, I do think he's the most dangerous guy.
I do too.
Right? I mean, Kirk may be like the most trusted guy, and despite the drops week one, usually pretty sure-handed and has good chemistry with Trevor Lawrence. But Brian Thomas Jr. is a big play waiting to happen.
Yeah, I like Gabe too. I mean, I think he had 20 yards a catch for 3 or 4 catches, it seemed, anyway, last week.
Didn't go back to him either.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
and I get it. They didn't convert, but you know, you can go to those guys on first and second down, too. You don't have to convert that first, third down to give you that extra series. Why only go to them if you pick up a first down?
It didn't feel like a lot of plays being set up to get guys open. You know, like crossing routes, rub routes, things like that. I didn't feel like I saw a lot of that, you know, in their game, which is normal. Like, especially with Ingram and Kirk, you know, getting them across the field with a trailer, you know, put it in the front of them. You got to play. But, yeah, Ingram was, you know, I know they tried because a couple of times he had penalties and they called it back. The one he sailed over him early, he's lucky. Right.
Well, that was the worst throw of the day. And sometimes Trevor does that. He doesn't settle into the game immediately, you know. And I thought
he had pressure on that play,
after that, though, I don't think he put a ball in jeopardy the rest of the day.
Not jeopardy, no.
Right?
No.
You know, you're going to have occasionally you got to get away with one. You look at Tua, first week threw for 330 against the Jags. Last night he's just throwing it up for grabs practically.
No doubt.
You know?
They all do it, but if they win, you don't remember the throw.
No.
You know, like Thursday night opener with Mahomes, he had the worst pick I saw.
Yeah.
The second worst pick. I'll give Levis the worst pick of the week.
Oh, that was terrible.
But Mahomes probably had the second worst pick of the week that I saw thrown. And he does that every now and then. It doesn't matter. They win.
That's right.
A bunch. Like they overcome those kind of things in the game. Every now and then the quarterback makes a bad play. It happens. It doesn't have to be the end of the world when it happens. So
definitely not.
Be better than that.
All right, before we get back to the phone lines, let's take a look around the rest of the NFL.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Cleveland has placed cornerback Miles Harden on injured reserve with a shin injury. Browns offensive tackles Jack Conklin and Jedrick Wills both limited in practice on Thursday. Myles Garrett popped up on the injury report yesterday, did not practice with a foot injury of some sort. We'll see what that looks like today. Za'Darius Smith also missed practice with a back injury for the Browns. Houston tight end Dalton Schultz missed practice for a second straight day Thursday with an ankle injury. Wide receiver Nico Collins was limited with an illness. Indianapolis defensive tackle DeForest Buckner missed practice for the second straight day with a back injury. Colts defensive end Kwity Paye and safety Julian Blackmon both missed practice yesterday as well. Chicago wide receivers Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen both missed practice for the second consecutive day on Thursday. Cincinnati wide receiver T. Higgins was seen at practice for the Bengals on Thursday, but he was in street clothes.
Visiting.
Pittsburgh quarterback Russell Wilson has been limited in practice all week. Indications are he's not going to play this weekend. Detroit Lions Hall of Fame linebacker Joe Schmidt passed away on Wednesday at the age of 92. According to an announcement from his family, Schmidt was a 10-time Pro Bowler, 8-time first-team All-Pro for the Lions from 1953 to 1965. Helped the Lions win 2 NFL championships, was selected as a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame's All-Decade team in the 1950s, and was elected to the Hall of Fame as a member of the 1973 class.
All right, thank you, Tone. By the way, T. Higgins did make a point yesterday to say, hey, just, you know, this is legit. This is nothing contract related. It's not like he can get a contract. Once you pass the deadline on the franchise tag, I don't know. You know, did people think that he's going to be like, I'm going to show you, and I'm not going to play at all, and then no one will give me a contract after this year? You know, I'm sure he wants to play. That's one to watch. We've all seen the video of Burrow kind of shaking out the wrist on the sideline a little bit, trying to stretch that thing out.
At least his hair looks good.
Does it?
I don't know.
It stands out.
To him, it does.
It stands out for sure. Hey, look, I wish I had the kind of moxie to pull it off. And the hair.
That'd be a good starting point.
All right. By the way, I'm surprised, unlike John Ogier, maybe you're not even aware that you and FanCam crushed me in fantasy last week.
I am aware.
I do think I didn't look. I might have played the highest scoring team in the league in each of the 3 leagues last week. Like, the lowest score against me was 159 points.
Okay.
The highest was in the 170s.
Whoa.
So it was not a good week for your boy. So let's say hello to our guy, FanCam, checking in this morning. Good morning, Cam.
Hey, good morning, guys. One of our favorite bartenders and people, Tommy, says hi. Dave out of Ragtime. I was pounding some wings and shrimp, and we were talking football. He wanted to say hi to you.
Beautiful.
And a great performance. You put together a great lineup last week for the longboards.
Way to
And
go, GM.
Mike, Tommy's a nice guy. I'm sure he'd be glad to give you some tips on fantasy roster.
Yeah, don't show up for the draft, apparently, is the best way to go about things. Right? That would be it. I'll auto-draft next year.
I'm a silent manager.
I will auto-draft next year and kick myself out of the other leagues for not showing up.
Oh, boy. Well, Tommy, I got to agree with Mike, man. Brian Thomas was responsible essentially for both scores in the first half, essentially 5 for 5 on 5 targets. And, he basically had Jalen Ramsey's diapers laying all over the secondary, for Christ's sake. And you don't throw him the ball in the second half? I was freaking out about that. By the time we were midway through the fourth quarter, I couldn't believe it. He still hadn't looked at Thomas in the second half. That should never happen. And hopefully we'll spread the ball around to our playmakers a little better this week as we head back to the bank. My keys would be attack Watson and attack him hard. Use your weapons. Get all these guys involved. That means Ingram. That means more than 2 passes to your backs, and that means looking for Brian Thomas downfield. And always third is win the turnovers. You guys have a great weekend. Let's rock the T-Bank in
Duval. Thank you, FanCam. That didn't seem like a fully throated Duval out of you. That seemed like a perfunctory Duval.
It wasn't my best.
Can I have a better Duval from you, please?
Really?
Yeah.
All right, sure.
Duval! See? That's what we're talking about, baby. That's a classic
Thank
right
you very
there.
much.
I stepped on you in the middle of it, and that would have been an all-timer to save. So I enjoyed that.
All right.
Enjoyed the heck out of it. How about this? How many letters would you say in the word Duval?
7. 8.
8?
Yeah.
Because you got 8? How many U's are you putting in there?
7.
7
U's,
or 3 U's,
yeah.
right? You got to be 3 U's in
so.
there. 7, Tony, you would agree? The proper spelling of Duval comes with 7 letters. Dylan's got a pair of tickets to the home opener for caller number 7 right now at 641-1010. Hop on board, and if you need a pair, we'll get you a pair to Jags and Cleveland coming up this weekend.
Grow a pair. If you have to.
Or, I suppose if you need to. I don't know if you need to for this
Not
particular,
for this particular
instance. Just
thing, no.
pick up the phone and
Tom
dial.
is off the rails this morning, man.
He really is. He's fired up. I wonder what this would be if this were a victory Friday. What could he? Do you have another level to take this?
I
thing
love
to?
life, man.
I know you do. I know you do.
I
All right.
enjoy my
Lines
time.
are ringing right now. Dylan will take care of our 7th caller here coming up. Let's take a quick break here, Dylan, and when we come back, we'll get into our confidence picks for the week. I've got mine done.
I do too.
Thank
I'm
you,
ready.
Tommy, for reminding me. I would have been going to break going, what are we going to do next? I don't know. But that's what we got coming up for you next year. So I think Dylan's got our 7th caller on hold, if I'm not mistaken. So be patient. He'll deal with you. Take a quick time out. Come back with more Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags head coach Doug Peterson tells you what you need to know about Sunday's game.
They believe in themselves. They believe in his team.
Fridays at 4:05 on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your home and save big? Now's the perfect time with Renewal by Andersen. For a limited time, it's buy one, get one 40% off on all windows and doors. That's right, buy one, get one 40% off plus flexible financing options to fit your budget. Our custom-built energy-efficient windows and doors are made with Fibrex, 2 times stronger than vinyl, giving you the durability you need and the savings you want. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to book your free consultation today. Don't wait, this offer won't last. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613. Proud partner of the Florida Gators.
Well, all the news forecasts say that home prices are expected to decline in 2025. Hey, that's great if you're buying a home. But if you're selling one, you might want to get to it. And when it comes to selling your home, the agents you should trust are Chad and Sandy Newman at chadandsandy.com. Maybe you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how. And you don't want to worry about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. Those things are all out with Chad and Sandy. They're the local real estate experts you can trust, and I recommend for the sale of your home, or for the sale of mine for that matter. Maybe I should look into it. Hey, don't trust me. Trust Jacqueline from Biscayne Estates. My inherited home became a nightmare when it went unsold for 177 days and ended up with a large lien. With expenses mounting for my handicapped daughter and no way to pay, I was desperate. At this point, I turned to Chad and Sandy. The change was amazing. Chad and Sandy sold my home in 3 days at a higher than asking price. Find out for yourself at chadandsandy.com or 904-414-6200.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
Sometimes you agree with him, sometimes you don't.
On the runway, I'm coming in hot.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Hi, it's Ben, second generation from Beards Diamonds. Guys, if you're popping the question soon, looking for an anniversary gift, before you buy anywhere, shop Beards. From a half carat to 10 carats, Beards will beat any competitor's price.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here. Look, most goals we set for ourselves have a pretty clear course. I want a trip to Las Vegas. So you read a couple of reviews, talk to a few friends, save up some money, and you book it. Maybe a couple of choices along the way, but overall, it's a clear course to reach your goal. Now, if your goal is to lose 40 or 50 pounds, where's the clear path? You read reviews, talk with a few friends, and try something out. When it doesn't work, you're disappointed. Look, we've all been there, and it stinks. Know what I say? Stop trying to do what I did and start doing. Reach your goal with Awaken 180. It's a clear course to success without the disappointment. No guesswork, no trial and error, and no medication side effects. I'm proof. I dropped 26 pounds my first go at it, and it was simple. A word never associated with weight loss, except when referring to Awaken 180. Choose the simple, clear course to success with the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Mueller Aaron Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Steve Johnson. Welcome to the show, Steve.
It's great to be here, Alex.
Yeah, you don't have to answer it in the form of a question, Steve.
What is this game show?
See, that's another question.
Are you going to ask me about air conditioners?
Yeah, okay. How about we just send the Bueller guys over and you can annoy them with all your questions? Johnny?
That's right, Steve. Bueller Air and Plumbing can answer all your air conditioning questions. Repair options, replacement models, and how to make your AC last longer while saving electricity. Making sure you are cool.
Where is the parking lot?
You're killing me, Steve.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
The average cost associated with childhood cancer is a startling $833,000. This is Tom Coughlin, and September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Help the J Fund raise awareness to help our neighbors and community members tackling this devastating disease. Visit tcjfund.org/September for more information.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's number 55.
Tom McManus.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Tommy Mack, we believe, we did a little self-scoring here. We believe took down the title for week 1 for confidence picks. 12-3, which was nice, but most important, 91 points.
91 points.
Right?
Yep.
Could have been, you lost a couple of your top guys, but that's okay. You know, you ended up with the most. Tony had 87. I was in the 70s, like 76 maybe, something like that.
You need a comeback.
I do need a comeback, but the good thing is that's 17 more weeks. No time to panic now. I did feel like this week's games seemed kind of obvious, like as to, not the order that you put them in, but the winners. The winners. I don't know. I even got down to number 1. I'm like, why don't I have them higher on the list? Because I love so many of these picks.
Yeah.
But
I'm feeling you.
All right. You're smelling. Over there, smelling yourself. All right, Tommy Mack, lead us off. Your top 3 selections.
All right, number 15, our hometown team taking down Cleveland.
What did you say if they don't win this one?
I looked it right in the eyes by writing.
Your paper.
My paper and my ink, and I looked at the Jags, and I said, this is it. You don't win this week, I'm not picking you 15th anymore.
No higher than 14th for the rest of the year.
All right, so they're 15th. I got Chargers on the road at Carolina 14th, and I got KC at home against Cincy 13th.
Tony Smith.
Okay, at 15, your Jacksonville Jaguars over the Cleveland
Browns.
Way to go, Tone.
At 14, Baltimore over Las Vegas. 13, Houston over Chicago.
All right, we're similar on 2 of these, Tony. I've got Baltimore on the 15-point line coming home versus Vegas. I think they will absolutely blast them. I've got Kansas City worth 14 points, so similar to Tommy Mack, getting the win over the ailing wrist of Joe Burrow and company. Yeah. And I'm going with the Houston Texans as well on the 13-point line over Chicago. Tommy Mack, your next 3.
All right, I got it. Number 12, Houston at home against the Bears. San Fran on the road against Minnesota's number 11, and 10 is Baltimore against LV.
Tony Smith.
At 12, Dallas over New Orleans. 11, Kansas City over Cincinnati. And at 10, Philadelphia over Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't know who Tommy's going to pick, but, man, I mean, considering how impressive New Orleans looked in week 1, a chance that nobody picks them in week 2, right? Yeah. We'll see how that goes. I've got Philadelphia on the 12-point line against Atlanta. I'm going with the L.A. Chargers against Carolina, worth 11, and I will take the San Francisco 49ers. That game might be a little bit closer. I don't know if I just feel like, a little bit of a Monday night opening week hangover for San Fran, but I still think they're going to win the game. Tommy Mack, your next 3, please.
We got Philly way too low. That's very upsetting. All right, what are we at, 9?
Yeah.
Number 9, New England at home against Seattle. Number 8, Jets on the road at Tennessee. Number 7, Dallas at home.
Number 9, for me, I'll take the LA Rams over Arizona. 8, the LA Chargers over Carolina, and 7, the New York Jets over Tennessee.
New York Jets. All right, I'm going with Detroit over Tampa Bay. At home on the 9-point line, I'm going with Dallas at home over New Orleans. I'm going Indianapolis over Malik Willis. And that's what that pick is right there. Indy over Malik Willis on the 7-point line. Tommy, 6, 5, and 4.
6, Tampa Bay on the road at Detroit. Indy on the road at Green Bay's number 5, and 4 is Philly at home against Atlanta.
Number 6 for me, Washington over the New York Giants. 5, Pittsburgh over Denver, and 4, Detroit over Tampa Bay.
Detroit over Tampa Bay. I'm going with Pittsburgh at 6, and I'm like, how do I not have this game higher, right? Like, I just think Pittsburgh's defense will be too much for Bo Nix. I've got the Jaguars on the 5-point line. I'll be honest with you. Last night, this kind of like made me wonder just how good that Miami Dolphin team is. That they, we should have beat them, but we didn't beat them. So we'll see. And things change a lot from week 1 to week 2. So hopefully the Jags can turn it around. I'm going Seattle over New England. Surprised you had New England that high on your list.
Sometimes you got to take a chance, Mike.
Tommy, you're the leader. You should tell me to shut the hell up. All right, Tom McManus, last 3 picks. Who you got?
Number 3, I got Pitt beating Denver. Number 2, Washington beating the G-Men. And number 1, I got Arizona beating the Rams.
Arizona.
At 3, I have the Colts over the Packers. 2, Seattle over New England. And number 1, Minnesota over San Francisco.
Ooh. All right, Tony likes to sneak a little sneak in there. I've got the Jets on the 3-point line. It's not a team I'm confident in, even though Tennessee looked like garbage at times last week. They are at home. I'm taking the LA Rams on the 2-point line here, going on the road to Arizona. And I, as bad as the Giants were, how do I only have Washington worth 1 point? That's the one I can't. I'm like, really? Like they should, but. Washington, still a young quarterback trying to get it all worked out. All right, here's what we got. We got Tom McManus leading the points after 1 week, going with the Jags on top, worth 15. Hope you're right. Absolutely. Mint that. The LA Chargers, Kansas City, Houston, San Francisco, Baltimore, New England, the New York Jets, Dallas, Tampa Bay, Indianapolis, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Washington, and Arizona. Tony going with the Jags on top, worth 15. Then the Ravens, the Texans, the Cowboys, Chiefs, Eagles, Rams, Chargers, Jets, Commanders, Steelers, Lions, Colts, Seahawks, and Vikings. And I will go Baltimore, Kansas City, Houston, Philadelphia, LA Chargers, San Fran, Detroit, Dallas, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Seattle, the New York Jets, the LA Rams, and Washington on the 1-point line. There you go. Your confidence picks. Most to least confident in the outcomes, and we'll track them all season long. All right, Tommy, I know you're so ready to get in on the defensive game plan for the Jaguars earlier when I asked you about the offensive game plan. So, I know you want to heat up Deshaun Watson, right?
Well, look, I know this. If you give any quarterback time, they're going to make completions, and he can still throw. And the Judy and Cooper can still get down the field and make plays and make things happen. Intermediate, deep, to get combined. I mean. So, you got to be wary of that. And if you don't get pressure on him, he'll make you look bad. Look what Jake Browning did to us last year. No pressure. Guy put up 38 on us.
What Flacco did to us last year.
Flacco, right. You got to get pressure. But I do think it starts with, look, they're hurting up front. They don't have their main running back in Chubb. Don't let the running game go anywhere. You should really – I think you shut them down to 3.2 last week. That's a great number. There were some runs in those last 2 drives against Miami.
When you saw how explosive Devon Achane was.
Oh, he's a good player, man. I like him. He's a good back.
I'll be honest with you. I'm shocked that they're giving him the workload that they're giving him at his size. But congrats to his fantasy man.
Yeah, he's good in the pass game too. So be strong up front and take care of that running game and then get after Watson. Be aggressive. Get in the faces of those wideouts. I know you played off a little bit last week with Hill and Waddle. Mix it up a little bit. Get in their face.
Do you think Deshaun Watson ever comes close to being the player that he used to be in Houston?
I don't know. I'll be quite honest. I haven't seen him in a full game in a very long time. I watched, I think, a second half of a game last year, maybe. Obviously we've seen him, but I haven't really watched him to say one. I'm looking forward to seeing him against RD. I'm not expecting them to have much success against us. I think against Dallas, they had 270 yards total, 280. That defensive front got after them. I don't care who's playing out there. Have them all injured. Have their whole third team in there. You got to get after them and make sure that passing attack does nothing.
Based on the injury report, they got a chance to have both their offensive tackles back this week. And, it's funny. Well, they're not 100%. Guys go out there, you can just assume they're going to play. Sometimes guys are, they're on the brink of not being activated for the game. Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Varying degrees. Yeah. Maybe nobody's 100%, but it's different being a little bit banged up versus actually injured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those guys have been dealing. I mean, of course you know what I mean.
Yeah. Difference between pain and injury.
Yeah. It's better, but I think guys that are coming in with the injuries they have especially, I like the Jags matchups against those tackles. Yeah. Even when they're ready to go. I like Hines Allen and Walker in those kind of matchups. And Armstead, his role should expand this week, having gotten a week under his belt here. I think that matchup, even if they get both those tackles, it's better for Cleveland, obviously, to have both those tackles than to not have them this week. But I still think that's a matchup the Jags should be able to win this week.
I tell you what, that rush Armstead put on that guard was real nice, man. That was a real nice, just a picture-perfect type rush.
Here was
awesome.
Doug Peterson this morning was asked about, does the Browns tackle situation change your game plan at all?
I don't think so. Listen, you gotta still go out and play, and whoever's out there for them, whoever's out there for us. I mean, they're not going to change. We're not going to change. I just think you have to go execute and play and study the man that you're going up against and study his tendencies. I think that's the most important thing. I think going into it, you just stick to your game plan.
Look, I think Josh Hines Allen was well deserving of the contract extension, but let's really solidify that this week, right?
Yeah.
I want him to show. Trayvon showed up in week 1.
Yep.
Not that Josh, he's giving you everything he's got.
Yeah.
He's not worried about that.
He just didn't stand out.
Right. So let's make a couple of splash plays, or at least let's put the pressure on Deshaun Watson and have it like Jeff Logman said, where he's dropping his eyes and he's worried. Once he starts thinking that, so it's over.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, barring a series of turnovers, fluke plays, things like that, it's very tough to win when you don't have the confidence that you're going to have time to throw.
And every time you smash him, go by him and be like, how's that new lawsuit looking, buddy? How are you feeling about that?
Oh,
man, are you in trouble again? Deshaun?
Let me ask you, if you were out there,
all over.
right, if the 97 Jags were playing, and similar circumstance, and you got Deshaun Watson on the ground, what would people be saying to him?
I think they would be saying that. I'd be saying that kind of thing. You got to get into his head. Especially you get into his head, you hit him, you get into his head, they all go together. Next thing you know, his soul's all a mess.
You give him a little tush massage while he's lying there on the ground? No, you're not. All right.
I don't know. What I would say to him, I can't say on radio, but
I hear you, brother.
But you just look, and you do got to harass him. I mean, look, you can say that against every offense. You can't let the quarterback sit there and make plays. You can't let him do it. He's still athletic enough to get out of dodge, right? He's still got an arm.
Look, I don't think he's ever lost to the Jags in a game he started.
Ooh,
right?
Correct.
He did not start the opener in 2017. It was Tom Savage Nation that was out there. And, en route to – but keep in mind, remember, Deshaun Watson in that game came in and on the first or second drive led him to a touchdown.
Yep.
And it kind of showed you – and they bedeviled the Jags when he was with Houston. But we ain't in Houston
was a long time
anymore.
ago. That was a long time ago, too,
It was.
We'll see. That's why you got to, don't let them get comfortable back there. And don't let them get comfortable.
With a huge game against Buffalo. If you win the next two, you're going to feel really good about yourselves, particularly how good Buffalo looked last night, right? You've righted the ship a little bit. You're 2-1 in the conference. Okay, we lost to Miami, but Miami may not be a factor now with the Tua situation. And then you set up a massive game in Week 4 versus the Texans. Let's just take care of business this Sunday. By the way, Dylan, who was our winner of the tickets today?
Lorenzo.
Congratulations to Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Was our 7th caller earlier. All right, when we return in a moment, we go roundtable style on keys to victory and take a look at your submissions as well out there on social media. That's your Jaguars Today, Chad and Sandy Real Estate question today, looking for your 3 keys to victory for the Jags versus the Cleveland Browns. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Tom McManus, and Dylan Denmark here with you on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Great plan for your tailgate. You know what? You don't have to put out a big spread and cook all this food. You can swing by the gate station on the way to the stadium. Trevor Bank is what I hear. And you can load up your cooler with a great variety of offerings from Dandy, something that's going to satisfy everybody. They've got a little something for every taste out there. Just go with the classic line of sandwiches and subs, and you're not going to go wrong. But they've got protein packs. They've got gourmet salads. They've got fruit cups and veggie trays and on and on and on. Just swing into a gate station, head forward to the fresh case, and look for the Dandy and Anytime Deli labels. Maybe get yourself one of those juicy cheeseburgers that they've got, 100% beef, the all-white meat spicy buffalo chicken, or the Italian combo that'll melt in your mouth. It's really up to you. They've got such great variety, all made with the highest quality ingredients, all with an eye on keeping the prices down as well. When you're in Duval and hungry, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy. And do it today.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Join Jim Furyk and other legends of the PGA Tour for the 4th annual Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K, October 4th through 6th at Timuquana Country Club. Get your tickets now, starting at just $25 for grounds passes. Public parking is free, and our military get complimentary tournament access courtesy of ViStar Credit Union. Get your tickets today at Ticketmaster, October 4th through 6th at Timuquana Country Club. The 4th annual Constellation Furyk and Friends, presented by Circle K.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
Hello there. Brendan from Play It Again Sports here to congratulate all the parents for surviving another summer. The kiddos are back to school, and you know what that means? Sports are back. But don't fret. Play It Again Sports has the gear you need at prices worthy of excessive celebration. From sluggers and shooters to clappers and benders, Play It Again Sports can turn your kids into goats. Stop in today on Merrill Road near 295 or online at playitagainjacks.com.
This is Jaguars Today Friday, brought to you by CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need help fixing a plumbing issue? Let our winning team go to work for you. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Every weekend is a stone cold sports weekend. Hey, Dan Hicken here. Watch for The Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll help you put together your sports weekend. Weekend with Dan brought to you by Stone Core. We do the outdoors better.
This is Corona Premier. Just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. It's a light beer that... Wait, this is a light beer? But we should really tell people about... Right, that's why I'm here. Sorry. Corona Premier, unexpectedly, light beer.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect beer for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
If you're about to order a floral arrangement for someone you love, then take it from me, 1010XL's JJ LaSalva. Use Kuhn Flowers. That's right, Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers gets it done right.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time home buyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time home buyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time home buyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time home buyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. Yes, 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson this morning on how the team has responded this week after the loss to the Dolphins.
I feel good. They feel good. You know, it's obviously the number one thing for me is the just getting them back physically. But I think mentally the guys are, you know, they've turned the page. They're obviously focused on this week and you know, trying to bounce back.
The JTA Game Day Express is back. Save gas and avoid parking hassles as the Jaguars take on the Browns. Let them do the driving with multiple locations around town and passes starting at just $10 on the My JTA app. More information at jtafla.com. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Oh, there's a good one right here from Daniel on Twitter. We're going to get keys to victory coming up as we cool it down. No one vacations in Cleveland. Don't let them take a vacation here either this weekend, right? Don't make it be a nasty, horrible business trip that they go home sore and whatever. I think the weather favors Cleveland. Like, if you're struggling throwing the football right now, you want it to be a swamp out there, you know? And it'd favor them more if they had Nick Chubb, obviously. But of course, I think you might see some Deontay Foreman this week. They didn't really get him involved, but he's a bigger power back. Yeah. So I would expect.
He's a good pro.
He's a solid guy, right?
Yeah,
Anytime
solid.
he's gotten an opportunity, he's probably not a guy you want to build your running game around, but he's multiple times has come in for an injured starter and held down the fort for a little bit. So I think it's going to, you know, he'll get maybe 8 to 10 carries in this game, I think. I could absolutely say, well, that's if they're able to sustain drives. And, you know, if you get them off the field on third down, like Miami did to the Jags, and you cut down their opportunities.
We didn't. 8 of 16 last week. You can't.
8 of 16 for the Dolphins, 2 of 10 for us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, not good.
Not good.
Not good at all.
Enough. You got to get off the field on third down. You got to extend your drives on offense to give yourself a shot for more points. So hopefully they can do that. Look, are we starting keys?
In a moment.
Okay.
And you can lead off, though.
No, it doesn't matter.
Let me ask you, before we get there, because you're all keyed up to do it, no pun intended, how do you feel about the Trevor Bank branding for the week? I just saw your face. Whatever you say, I know the truth. All right? So
I'll tell you, I mean, it's ridiculous. But I did do some research because I talked to somebody inside, just friend, you know, that helps us out. And I just said, what is this? And at first he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, you don't have any idea what I'm talking about. It's all over
all over the stadium.
Is it real? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, yeah. He's a spokesperson for him. Yeah. It's through them. I don't know. I mean, look, I would personally, if I was him, I'd say I haven't done anything. I really wouldn't be comfortable with you calling this Trevor anything. What have I done? I mean, I haven't won a championship. We had a good year 2 years ago, but I don't know. I'd feel uncomfortable if I were him. But
I think he's not that guy.
Weird.
But
kind of weird.
They came to him and said, hey, what do you think about this?
A little early.
Here's the thing. You better win it. Right?
Oh,
so if you're saying
have a great game and win it.
If we played in McDonald's Stadium back in the day and they wanted to go Tommy McDonald Stadium, you would have said, not a good idea.
Why? for what?
Because you're the Mike. Go be the Mike.
Yeah, no.
You're the Mac.
I mean, you know, whatever. It's a new era. You know, it's a new era.
All right, you want to bat lead off? You ready to do some keys to victory?
Yeah, let's start it off. Listen, last week the Browns, I think, had 230 total yards of offense. You know, they didn't really do that much, and I'd like to see that done here on Sunday. Control the line of scrimmage, control that running game, and then just kick the living you-know-what out of Deshaun Watson. Not just only because he's the opponent and he's the opponent's quarterback, just because, you know what, he deserves a little bloody nose, busted up chin, maybe take the shoulder out, whatever. Get him out of the game. I don't care. Knock him out of the game. And I know everyone's sensitive based on what happened last night. I don't want to ruin his career. I want to ruin his day. But I do think if you get after Watson, you got a good shot at winning this game.
Would you have felt any remorse last week if Tua had his situation against the Jags?
No. It's football.
Okay.
And you know what?
No,
Don't
I mean,
dive.
just because you called for, hurt him.
Yeah.
Okay.
The head's part of the body.
I understand. I'm just asking.
Don't play the game if you're not gonna. You know, it's a violent game. And no, did they mean to knock him out of the game? No,
he did it to himself.
He kind of did it to himself.
I think 100% did it to himself.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he got slung around, but he did. He should have dove, right?
Should have slid.
I mean, slid.
Yeah,
slid.
Yeah. All right. So
anyway,
Tom basically, I think, covered everything for the Jaguars defense. Don't let him run. Don't let him pass. Crush the quarterback. Tony Smith.
I'm expecting offense next and then special teams. I said yesterday on the show that Deshaun Watson looks to me like he is breaking much more than he is even trying to fix in Cleveland at the moment. I say oblige the fans in Cleveland to continue to watch the quarterback they celebrated trading for a couple of years ago to continue his evolution into a hindrance to the team in Cleveland, both on and off the field. At the end of another week, we all know what's going on off the field with this guy. He's an embarrassment. Start stacking up the on-field embarrassment, which started last week against Dallas. He's never had a good moment that I can remember since he was made the quarterback in Cleveland. This can't be the first good moment for Deshaun Watson. Continue the embarrassment tour that he's on right now.
He's a scumbag.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is. There's enough evidence.
Worse.
Like, this is not an opinion. There's enough evidence that in there. And whether this, and that's the thing, it's just reignited, right? And this accusation goes beyond the other one. I mean, this really is the worst out there. But even if this one didn't exist, he's still a scumbag, you know?
He had settlements for like 23 people. Didn't he? 20?
Yeah,
massage
21, whatever the number was.
He's a weirdo, man.
All right, I'm going to say Myles Garrett has 2 or 3 games a year where he's, defensive player of the week level, and he's, a defensive player of the year candidate level guy. Don't let him be that guy. And I'm presuming he's going to play, foot injury or not. Presume you're going to get the full Myles Garrett experience out there. And whether it's Cam Robinson or Anton Harrison, either one of them is going to have to play better this week against that guy. They're going to move him around. They look for the best possible matchup. So do not let 95 ruin your day. The fact that I even know the number of a player on another team, I'm not a uniform number guy, that shows you how impactful I think that guy is. Who you got, Tommy, or what do you got? Defense.
Well, I'm going to go to defense one real quick because we were 20% on third down. You know what Cleveland was last week? 13% offensively on third down. Get off the field. Stop them on third down. Give our offense the ball back and make this a game. You cannot win a close game if you don't get off the field on third down on defense.
Tony?
Get Brian Thomas Jr. involved. We've talked about that already on the show here this morning, but get him involved in the game plan early. Keep him involved throughout the game. I know it's just 1 week. Demps, we've talked about it all week. Like, I already have the feeling like Brian Thomas Jr. can be the one now.
Right now.
I think he's got the talent in the game to be that guy for this team. They haven't had that on the field at any point since Jimmy walked away, right? Like, not consistent. Fair. They haven't had that kind of thing. I'm not saying he's Jimmy when he's walking on the field, but he's the first guy since Blackman that they've even had the opportunity to feel going into a game. That's our guy.
Difference maker.
That's our guy. Get him involved early, get him involved often, and let's see where this whole thing evolves into.
I don't disagree with you there, but I will add to that. Kirk and Ingram have to have more Kirk and Ingram-like performances.
Yes,
they were almost non-factors. They each caught one ball. Kirk caught a 30-yarder. That was nice. But, it's get them more opportunities. I expect them to convert those opportunities. Now, I get it that some of that was on Kirk last week. But regardless, find a way to use these elements of your offense that you have a cohesiveness with. Trevor's worked with these guys for a few years now, and Evan Ingram killed the Cleveland Browns last year. I'm not saying it has to be a repeat of that, but just, 5 for 60 out of each of them would be a big improvement and would convert more third downs, help you move the ball along. So I want to see those guys have bounce-back weeks.
Yeah, how about putting them away? Get up on them and put them away. This is another AFC contest. Listen, these, tiebreakers, they add up, right?
Absolutely.
You go to after division, you go to the conference and, common opponents. So you got to make sure that you take care of Cleveland this time. They're down. You should beat them, okay? They're a good – look, they got great talent like everybody else. But you should beat this team. This is a team you should beat. You should get up early, and you should put them away. It should not be a close game. I'm not calling blowout. I'm not calling for a blowout. I'm not saying that. But just like you had Miami on the ropes last week but couldn't finish the deal, let's finish the deal this time.
Stay out of your own way. Don't commit the big turnover. Those things happen, though, in football games. Sometimes it is out of your control that the opponent makes a play. That's okay. Don't let that be the moment where the toilet gets flushed on your opportunity to win that day, which is what it felt like last week. When those things happen, they just had no answer for those kind of things. Stay out of your own way. A bad thing happens, that thing happened. It's not happening. It happened. I hope if they get put in that moment, the next time they get put in that moment, they stand up underneath it. They didn't last week.
I'm going to say have a plan in the secondary, right? Because you're down Tyson Campbell. Looks like you're down Darnell Savage this week. And granted, this was an anemic passing attack by Cleveland, but if they get their tackles back, if they get a little time for Deshaun Watson, if he runs around and extends the play, Amari Cooper can still hurt you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Jerry Jeudy is a player that's never lived up to his potential, but I do think he has potential in this offense. And don't let a guy like Jordan Akins come in and look like a one-week hero in the absence of David Njoku, but just have a good plan for how you're going to handle those guys if they do get the protection for Deshaun Watson and have some time to get the ball off. Why don't we make predictions on this go-round? What do you got? I know you had the Jags on the 15-point line.
Yeah, I got the Jags winning. I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to say we get 24 and they get 12.
24-12.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony?
Jags 27-13.
27-13. I'm going to go 23-17. Jags. I was tempted to go with last week's score and go 20-17, but I think
write it down.
Whatever. We all get the Jags regardless, but I don't think Cleveland's going to go bonkers and score a bunch of points on this team, but and if they do, we're going to be having a whole different series of conversations next week. But at the same time, this is a pretty good Cleveland defense, and I'm not sure the Jags are just going to show up and go up and down the field. They certainly didn't do it against the Miami Dolphins last week. Looked like they were going to at halftime.
Yeah.
So, how about 2 complete halves of football this week? I think we'd all
Battle
agree.
to the metal. Let's go.
Yeah. What he said. All right, let's welcome in Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
All right, Lauren Brooks, how are you on this Friday?
I'm great, thanks. Could be better, though. We could be 1-0, and talking about this game against the Browns is going up to 2-0.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be nice. Last night, when the score was 24-7, did you think what I thought?
It could have been us.
Coulda, shoulda,
You know what else I thought? Well, they had no problem shutting down Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Right.
We're all so impressed with the Jags' defensive performance, and then the Bills were like, hold our beer. Yeah. We're going to go out there and show you what a real defensive performance looks like against this team, even before Tua got injured. So
and the Bills were not full strength on the defensive side.
No, they lost
Jags
Terrell Bernard early in the football game, who's their best linebacker.
Right. We walked away from last week going, well, it's because it's Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That's the reason that the Jags lost.
And the Bills were like, Tyreek who?
Yeah.
I mean, they really were.
I know.
Last night. I mean, it was shocking. And they only sacked Tua twice, but it felt like they harassed him a ton last night. So
that needs to happen on Sunday.
Let's hope the other way around.
There are going to be boos raining down in the stadium if Deshaun Watson has a good performance.
I cannot wait for the creative cheers or chants that Deshaun is going to get from this Duval crowd in pregame warm-ups and other times.
Just full throttle.
Absolutely.
Not with the kids around. Make sure no kids are around. But If they're in around, go after them.
I saw one meme on social that I assume someone or multiple people will use this as a poster or sign for the game on Sunday. I'm Deshaun Watson, and I approve of this massage. As like political related, right?
We got you right there. It's such a disgusting. I mean, it really it's such a horrible thing that you hate to even joke about it from that perspective, because we're not losing sight of the fact that there are actual victims in this stuff, and God knows how many other ones. On top of that, the Browns front office, I guarantee you, is praying that this woman is successful and they can void the last 2 years of that deal. I don't doubt that for 1 second.
The league should almost let defenders, as they're getting up, use his neck to get up. You know what I mean? Give him a squeeze.
The Deshaun Watson rule. All right, LB, what are we talking about today on Helmets and Heels?
Oh, you already know. We'll break down all things Browns, Jaguars, and we'll talk some college football, too. Football is here, and we love it.
Football. LB, have a great weekend.
Thanks so much. Y'all do the same.
All right, there you go. Lauren Brooks tonight, Bowles and Bishop Kenny.
Yeah, man.
At the home of Bowles. Tony Smith on the call for that one. And Dylan Denmark and the Baldwin Indians taking on Union County. Are we feeling confident on the outcome?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the plan we got.
You've been pretty consistent with being realistic about Baldwin's chances in the games this year. So
Wing T, baby.
Good luck to all the local high schools out there. But we give a little particular love to the ones we cover.
I'm kind of bummed that there's no NFL tonight. They spoiled me last week.
I know, right? But
I'll be honest. Friday night, I'm doing other stuff than watching football.
I'm working Friday night, so I'm with Tony. Put a game on TV.
Well, there you go.
I'm going to be working anyway.
I'm not working.
Let me watch that.
On partying.
I will say I am so appreciative of the 7:30 kick for Monday Night Football.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, because they're playing a doubleheader that night.
Oh.
Right, and the Jags get the early kick against Buffalo the following week.
Right. Got you.
Get me home a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that's nice.
And we get a Sunday off next week, too, which is going to be fantastic.
Red Zone Day.
Yes, sir. All right, that'll do it for us today. Thanks to all of you out there for listening, participating, whatever you have done to be a part of the program. Congrats to Lorenzo, who won a pair of tickets to go see the Jags in the home opener this weekend. For Dylan Denmark, Tony Smith, Tom McManus, I'm Mike Dempsey. We appreciate you checking in on a Keys to Victory Friday and hopefully celebrating a Victory Monday with David Garrard coming up in a few days. Have a great week and go Jags.
Harass Watson. And
offensively.
Jaguars Today for the renewal.